Kennedy, 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 boy.
JFK was thought of very highly at the time.
He was elected in 1960, and you probably know he's the youngest elected president we've ever had.
He was a very charismatic man.
And this was true, I think, to his charm and to his wit.
He was a war hero.
His beauty, but also his brilliance.
Great charisma.
He stood up to the Russians with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
When he talked, you believed him, and he just seemed to have the vitality and the strength.
I mean, he was really a popular president.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
There can be no greater service to our country, and no source of pride more real than to be a member of the Peace Corps of the United States.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack. Everyone.
And then in November of 1963, he went to Dallas on a political junket. Well, it was a Friday, and it was noontime, and he was heading down. He left the airport, Love Field, and went downtown to give a speech. And at one point in time, he had to make a hairpin turn in front of a 6-story building at Texas Book Depository. And at that point, see, the Secret Service never liked this when the motor car turned and went. And he was in this Cadillac but didn't have the bubble top. And Oswald was waiting, and Oswald fired 3 shots in about 8 seconds. First one missed. Second one struck President Kennedy in the neck. I don't think anyone really knows whether or not that would have killed him. There's some speculation that he was wearing his back brace, as always, because he was a very frail and sickly president. He didn't communicate that image to us, but it might have held his body up so that the third shot, which hit him in the back of the head, which killed him at that moment. He was rushed to the hospital, but there was no chance for him to live.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago. Vice President Lyndon Johnson has left the hospital in Dallas, but we do not know to where he has proceeded. Presumably, he will be taking the oath of office shortly and become the 36th President of the United States.
I remember quite vividly where I was. It was 8th grade English, and class was interrupted by the Dean of Discipline, who came in and who had been sobbing. And that was disconcerting enough. The news of the assassination was traumatic, but to see somebody in a position of authority, he was a tough cookie, brought to his emotional knees by this event, was quite startling.
It was traumatic. I mean, parents were crying, my grandparents were crying, and I still remember this to this day.
I went home that night to a house that was, since my family was strong Kennedy supporters, the house was both hysterical and funereal, and that lasted for the next couple of days because Oswald died the next day, and the funeral wasn't until Monday. So my feelings were of shades of black, people drinking too much and crying too much, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I was 13.
And when JFK was assassinated, it was like, how can the greatest country in the world be attacked like this? Essentially being attacked, our president killed.
Yeah, people were devastated. I was in school. I remember that we didn't have TVs or anything in our room, and they brought a TV in, and
I felt really secure in my nation, greatest nation in the world. And after JFK, I mean, how can I feel that safe if my president has been killed?
We were watching TV when Oswald got shot by Ruby. And it was unbelievable. You're sitting there watching. You can't believe the president got killed because that was just beyond your, you know, you could even imagine that anybody would kill the president. And then here you are, you're seeing the man who is accused but not convicted of killing him. And all of a sudden there's this big bang and you don't know what it is. And Oswald, you know, just kind of falls down and they immediately arrest Ruby right on the camera. So you're seeing history as it's being played out. So it was, you were just glued to the TV.